827.
It's a Sunday afternoon.
Do you want me to step in?
I knew somebody was going to get hurt bad.
I'm with the patient.
This is a detox unit.
Not conscious, not breathing, CPR in progress.
They didn't have the staff to protect the patients.
Come on, man. Come on.
1 minute until analysis will resume.
You are listening to the voice of a Johnstown police officer
Okay, ready?
trying to save a life.
Okay, we have
It is
movement.
safe to touch the patient.
It's very faint.
Johnstown Heights was a disaster waiting to happen.
And that disaster happened last November. The officer's attempts to resuscitate failed.
Did we call it yet?
I'm not going to call it unless I absolutely have to.
3 days after entering Johnstown Heights, seeking help for alcoholism, Christopher Dixon died on that Sunday.
He was 39 years old. He walked in there on his own volition, wanting to get help. Through negligence, he died.
B.J. Potts is a veteran nurse, a resume with 4 decades of experience, including time in 2 other mental health facilities. He resigned after 6 weeks at Johnstown Heights after he was physically assaulted by patients 2 different times.
It was just a zoo.
B.J. quit 2 weeks before Christopher's death.
In so many words, Johnstown Heights is a shithole. Nothing they're doing is helping the patients. There's no safety measures, and you're lucky if you can get out of there alive.
In the 5 months since Christopher Dixon's death, Denver 7 Investigates has been digging to answer why, to understand what happened. We've reviewed body camera video, the official police report, the coroner's autopsy report, talked with more than a dozen current and former patients and employees, and we've obtained newly released state inspection records. B.J. Potts also reviewed those records.
You can't have a facility that just houses patients, adult patients, to the maximum census and not have the staff to take care of them.
Officially, the autopsy concluded Christopher died of complications of mixed drug interactions of therapeutic medications. Just days after his death, state inspectors moved in. They uncovered critical and disturbing details.
He was not checked adequately. He was not checked every 15 minutes. And as a result, his vital signs decreased to the point where they couldn't come back.
9 days after Christopher's death, the state's Department of Health declared Johnstown Heights was in immediate jeopardy, the state's most serious designation for a mental health hospital. Officially, the report says the facility failed to ensure registered nurses assessed detox patients in 14 of 16 records reviewed. The report included the facility's failure created likelihood of serious harm affecting patients. It specifically cited failures in treating Christopher, showing at one time he went 16 hours without having his vital signs checked. Significantly longer than what industry experts suggest is standard practice.
Are you surprised by what they found in the days after this death?
No, I'm not surprised. They found everything that I thought they'd find. Inadequate staffing, inadequate safety measures.
State inspectors produced 3 different reports, more than 50 pages. They found at least 10 significant deficiencies. Specific to Christopher, inspectors noted the time medication was administered was not documented. In the report, nurses admitted they knew Christopher was at a higher risk. In fact, one nurse said to inspectors, alcohol detox was deadly if not treated appropriately.
He should not have died. It was not an accident that he died. It was negligence. That's why he died.
Officially, the Larimer County Coroner's autopsy says Christopher Dixon's manner of death was an accident.
Based upon your review, should Christopher be alive today?
I believe so, yes.
Larimer County Coroner Stephen Hanks says when determining the manner of death, national standards do not include negligence as an option.
Structure doesn't allow you to call it negligent.
Right.
But was this negligent?
I believe so. I think that the elements are there that both civil and criminal negligence could apply and that those arguments could be made.
The county coroner arrived at that conclusion after reading what state inspectors found at Johnstown Heights following Christopher's death.
Based on this new information, should the Johnstown Police Department reopen its investigation?
I believe so. I believe it's worth taking a good hard look at.
Earlier this month, the Johnstown Police Department reported to Denver 7 Investigates that it has officially closed the case into Christopher's death. But we found some telling details in the incident report. It says during an interview with Johnstown Heights CEO Sean Peterson, nearly 4 months after Christopher's death, the officer wrote, Sean said sometimes he gets nervous on Sundays because the facility is staffed with a skeleton crew.
What's that say to you, and is that acceptable?
That's not acceptable.
You were there for 6 weeks. Was it unusual to have a skeleton crew working?
It was the norm to have a skeleton crew working.
It's also worth noting Christopher was not the first to die inside this hospital under questionable circumstances. Back in 2017, a 47-year-old father of 2 died inside. Same address, the same hospital, with a different name and different owners. Coroner Hanks was part of the team that investigated Tibor Hatay's death.
What should people take away from these 2 deaths at that one address?
The commonality, a lack of supervision, a lack of adequate assessments and vital checks by the nursing staff. It seems like a commonality is the skeleton crew.
So what's next? The question is, what happens now? Will the inspections, the investigations, and the insight from insiders produce enough pressure to change this culture? Or will what happened to Christopher on that Sunday afternoon in Johnstown simply fade away until the next patient's needs are ignored in a Colorado mental health hospital?
I think it needs to be shut down. They want money, and that's all. They do nothing for the patients.
We can't bring Christopher back, but I think there could be hope that there's some justice out there that can be done.
There were people that could have stopped that, and there were things that could have been done to change that. And so it pisses me off that they still haven't changed it. And we could be doing this interview in 2 or 3 weeks.